Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm A.Yuliani.Ap. I'm from North Kelaka at Southeast Sulawesi. So today I will discuss again about my new material to complete my statement of introduction to education. And of course, I would love to thank you to Mr. Khamaruddin S.Pd M.Pd for getting us. I'm from English department at 19 November Kelaka University. Well, today I'm going to discuss about goals and education objects. So actually, we have discussed this material before, but it was in Indonesian form. So today I will discuss this material in English. As usual, I will not discuss the entire contents of this material, but I will only discuss about one of the topics in this material, which is the purpose of education according to Langefield and the subject of education. Without any further ado, let's jump right in. First, the purpose of education according to Langefield. Slightly different from the other experts, Langefield categorizes educational goals into 6 types, such as general education goals, special education goals, incomplete educational goals, temporary educational goals, intermediary educational goals, and incidental educational goals. Incidental educational goals. Well, let's discuss the first one. There is general educational goals. Well, the goal of general education is to achieve physical and spiritual maturity of the learner. Physical growth referred to in the purpose of education in the maximum physical growth limit that can be achieved by a child. While spiritually maturity in educational goals means that the ability of a child to help himself when experiencing difficulties or problems and be able to take responsibility for his actions. So there it can be said that the general goal or end of education is to form human beings who physically and spiritually mature both morally, intellectually, socially, aesthetically, and religiously. For example, a teacher asks a first-year student to tidy up a crayon and folding table after coloring, in which the child has been taught about responsibility. So this attitude of responsibility will form a maturity in the child. And the second is special educational goals. Special educational goals are specific to general objectives. Okay, I'm sorry guys, it's really noisy here. So we know that the goal of education is maturity. Maturity here is still general in nature. Many factors make up maturity, so it can be said that the specific goals of education include certain aspects. The specialization of this goal can be adapted to certain conditions and situations. For example, it can be adapted such as gender of students, conditions, the nature of students, age or level development of students, the task of institution that educates students such as family, school, mosque, community, and others, or state philosophy and the ability of educators. So, to achieve goals, it's necessary to specialize goals that are tailored to certain conditions and situations. For example, adapted to the ideals of national development, adapted to the duties of an agency or education institution, adapted to the talents and abilities of students, adapted to the level of education, and so on. And then, educational goals that we have been adapted to certain circumstances. In order to achieve general goals, education is what is meant by special goals. Example, the purpose of basic education is to provide knowledge and skill to children for their life after graduation, and at the same time is the basis for preparation for continuing higher education. And the third is incidental educational goals. Okay. Incidental educational goals are goals that relate to specific events and are educational goals achieved at certain times with instantaneous or spontaneous nature. We could say it's a bit difficult to find a relationship between incidental goals with general goals or majority. But actually, the incidental goals are directed towards the achievement of general goals. For example, mother forbids her child for playing in front of an open door because it can cause accidents such as being picked in the door, or because the door is the direction of the wind's entry, so the child may be sick, or it can be interfere with the traffic of people passing by the door. Okay, the fourth is temporary educational goal. Temporary educational goals are those that are contained in steps to achieve general goals, which are the foundation for achieving higher goals. In other words, temporary goals are educational goals that a person reaches in each phase of development. For example, when a child is taught to be able to walk, he must experience several stages, such as crawling, standing, broken walking, until he can finally walk. Well, this is what is called a temporary educational goal. And the fifth is incomplete educational goal. Incomplete educational goals are goals that only discuss one aspect of education. This goal is closely related to aspects of education that will shape aspects of human personality, such as education aspects of intelligence, moral, social, religion, aesthetic, and others. And next is intermediary educational goals. This is the last. Intermediary educational goals are means, tools to achieve other goals or secondary educational goals that function as intermediaries for primary educational goals. For example, someone goes to school because the ultimate goal is graduation. Okay. There was 6 goals of education according to Landfield, which can be simplified into just one kind of general goal, where the 5 goals are directed for educational purpose, namely the formation of life as an intellectual being, a life in which the essence of human natures, individual beings, social beings, and moral or religious beings, can be realized in harmony. Okay, alright. Well, let's talk about the second material. There is about educational subject. The subject of education is they are directly involved in the education process. In this case, educators and students. Students are the most important subject in education. This is due to the action of educators carried out only to bring children to the goals they aspire to. In another one, there are mentioned that the subject of education is the person or group responsible for providing education. So that the material being taught can be understood by the object of education. The subject of education there is understood by most experts is parents, teachers in formal institutions such as schools, and from someone of the informal institution and the community environment. Whereas the first education on that we understand so far is parents or family. This is some analysis. Okay. Basically, education is a social process that involves 2 variables. There are educators and students. Between the two variables, there is a relationship between the influence of adults on young people, who later called authority. Thus, it can be found that the subject of education is the educator, while the object of education is student, who can also the subject of education. Okay. Alright you guys, that was my explanation about the goals and educational. If you guys still don't understand, you can comment down below, and don't forget to like and share, of course. And so, thanks for watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.